What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Inner Circle podcast. And with this upcoming pink moon, I am feeling very pink. I'm not gonna say anything else that rhymes with the word pink. But welcome to
That's
the I have your host Charlie with my best girlfriend Melanie. How is everyone
Hi.
doing? How are you doing, girlfriend?
I'm good. I'm tired. I want this week to fly because it's been a lot. It's a lot. This weather, it makes it worse. Like, why is it so freaking cold? I thought we were heading towards the direction of like a nice spring, and then the sun being out makes it like kind of the bait and switch. I don't know.
No, yeah, the same. I'm like, what is up with this weather? I was so mad because yesterday I left with like a jean jacket. Thank God I did take a hoodie too. And
That's
it was
not enough.
so cold. Like I went to the gym after work and it was like I'm like, damn, like it's like brickety brick, like still and it's April. Like, what the hell? Like truly bipolar weather. But but yeah, I just can't wait to get this week over with. I
Amen.
can't wait. But not too long ago, this past weekend, we had the pleasure and the fun to go see our girl, the icon, the legend, because she's been around since the 80s, and you even said it too, like, oh my gosh, she has songs that are older than us. Um, Kylie Minogue. That was a fun show. That's us at Madison Square Garden.
You look so cute. Look at my tan still popping from December.
How did you feel? How did you like the show? I know we had thoughts even when we left. I was definitely impressed, but go ahead, take it away of the experience.
I love Kylie Minogue. I've always loved her. I remember being so young and watching the "Can't Get You Out of My Head" video in on MTV and just being like, wow, I love the song. Kylie is like the princess of pop, they say, even though that can be also considered Britney Spears.
You don't consider
But
her the queen of pop?
the queen of pop is Madonna.
No, but like they don't call Kylie the like other people or
They
like
call her the princess of pop. Yeah.
okay.
But there's a lot of princesses, I guess. But I love Kylie Minogue, and her music is like very, poppy. It's something that was missing, and I was thinking about it as I was watching her in concert. First of all, I loved our section. I thought it was like great bird's eye view. She came out in like latex leather, which I loved. Her dancers, the only thing that was kind of like, what the hell? Her dancers were looking like they were dressed like the Teletubbies at one point when she did the local
Oh
motion,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
different colors. It was giving Eurovision, like very European concert vibes. But nonetheless, the music, the microphone was on. She
Yeah.
was singing those live vocals. I love her. I was singing out loud all the songs that I know. There weren't that many I didn't, but it was an experience. And I have been saying I want to go to concerts of artists that I feel like are, I don't want to say on their way out, but they're on the bridge of retirement and they're kind of older from our time. So seeing her was like check off my bucket list. Um, I will say towards the end, I got very, I don't want to say emotional, but like it really touched my heart how happy and grateful she was because this was her first time selling out Madison Square Garden ever in her whole career. The fact that she sold out so many worldwide arenas, and she's never performed in Madison Square Garden is crazy. And she had two shows, sold them out both. It looked like World Pride in there. It was everybody was there. The gays were out, and the
Very much.
hags. Is that still politically correct?
Fag hags.
Yeah, you could say it. I don't think I can. The allies were there, but I had a fabulous time, and yeah, I love her. Padam padam.
Um It was. I had a great time. Again, like you said, the mic was on, and it's funny because after leaving Madison Square Garden, we obviously a lot of people are walking. You hear people talk about the show, and of course, there was many gays. Like literally, like before I got there, you even said it. You was like, "Oh my god!" It's like
Gays are out tonight.
it was like they were out. Like the gays love Kylie Minogue, and I love to see it. But I also could tell there was people, and she even said it. There were people that came out of the country to see her.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. But a lot. I heard the same thing, the same trend. Like her mic was on, and she really was. Kylie has a distinct voice. And it's one of those voices that you hear, and it's like okay, and it's her, but going into it, I thought she was going to lip sync or do like what Beyonce does, sing the chorus, the verses live, and then lip sync the chorus. But I mean, roll back her concerts, Beyonce's concerts. No tea, no shade, no pink, no yellow lemonade. But, Kylie sung the whole time, and it matched what we hear on the radio, what we hear on the CDs, what videos. So I was impressed. She gave a great show. It was cute. Like you said, I loved our section where we was at. And it was great energy. Like people
were standing up. There were a few times I had to sit my ass down because my feet were hurting. And there were a few little acoustic little ballads that she sang, and I was like, "Oh, perfect intermission for me." But when she came on and she had her songs, like the only call out I have is that she didn't really sing that many songs from her disco album that came out in 2020. And I absolutely love that album. Even though she did sing like 2 or 3 songs, she didn't sing my favorite song, Miss a Thing. I adore that song.
Miss a Thing. I did like that one.
I love that song. But, Come Into My World, that's one of my favorite songs. There's a song that I love from her. Have you ever, I think you've heard it before, Chocolate.
Yes, that is, oh my God.
It's a throwback.
Funny enough, that is crazy because I was listening to it the week leading into a Kylie thing, and I already had seen the set list.
Same.
And I wish she sung two of my favorite songs from that album. What is it? Body Language? Was it called Body Language?
Body Language, yeah.
Body Language. And it wasn't even the lead single, Slow. It was Chocolate. Number one was my favorite. I always love a good mid-tempo sensual song. And Woman.
With like some hip hop in it too.
Yeah, and Red Blooded Woman. So yes, I was disappointed too. Like, damn.
She just has like such a big catalog that obviously she wasn't gonna be able to sing everything. And the fact that she actually sang the songs like from beginning to end was great. I feel like this is a good time for pop singers to have their music out, like her, Lady Gaga, who's going to be in concert as well. Who else has music out that is in that pop realm that we used to like really like? I don't know. I was telling you during the concert that I would be down with Lady Gaga.
Listen, if you would have asked me that for her last one, because I loved her last album. And after a few weeks now, what
was her last album? Joanne?
No,
do I have to look it up?
No, it wasn't Joanne. Why am I having a brain fart? Look it up, please.
Is it the Sour Candy? I mean, I remember her doing that song with Black.
Yeah. No, that was a good Chromatica was in
911 is a good.
That was a good album. That was a good album.
Chromatica came out in 2020.
Yeah. It sucks because 2020 was a year where we obviously know what we were going through, and a lot of artists like Kylie Minogue released albums that were, unfortunately, were maybe great depending to the fan and the person of interest of that genre, but that went unnoticed because of maybe everything else going on. So maybe on a regular year or something, it would have maybe caught on more to the masses, if that makes any sense.
I feel like there needs to be a resurgence of anything that came out in 2020.
Right.
that
But
like needs to be like visited or whatever.
But she went on a stadium tour the same year Bad Bunny went when we went to see Bad Bunny at Yankee Stadium. She was out on tour that year, was it? Yeah, that year, same year as Bad Bunny because he went to see her concert. I remember. Um,
She had recently. I mean, I feel like a couple years ago, like literally 2 years ago or something. Kylie Minogue had a residency in Vegas.
oh, she did. She did recently. Yeah. When her first Tension album came out, that had the song Vegas High.
Got it. Yeah, I'm happy that she came to Madison Square Garden.
And it's
I thought,
funny because we spoke about when she had the residency. We mentioned it. It could be again, people, and we've been talking about it on the show. Rewind the tapes. We've been talking about going to Vegas for a while. Obviously, on the show, we made it happen, but obviously, she wasn't on in Vegas. We went to see Janet, but listen, what's meant to be is meant to be, and we got to see Kylie. So
mhm,
I'm excited, and then we have Bad Bunny coming up. I
yeah,
see J Balvin randomly. Raul Alejandro is one I've been like wanting to
yeah.
see.
He has the concert in May, right?
Yeah, and it's coming up in May. I gotta look up again the days because it sucks. There's a few things coming up
Yeah.
this time span where it sucks because I'm not here because I'll be traveling or whatsoever. But speaking of traveling, we when we travel to different states, we become tourists. When we travel out of the country, we're definitely big ass tourists. And what do people outside of America that travel into America think are the worst cities? I have it for you right now. In no particular order,
Mm.
I'm going to give you the cities that, of course, uh, the cities that people think are the worst cities in America. Again, no
So
particular.
these people are not Americans; they're tourists.
These are tourists. These are not Americans. These are people outside of America who come here. And I don't know with some of these on the list.
United States of America.
I was perplexed that I'm like, why would tourists want to come here? But okay, here they are, no particular order. Any before I get it rolling. Any ideas or thoughts of what you may hear, my dear?
Um, Mobile, Alabama.
All right, here we go. The first one being again, no particular order. Stockton, California.
Stockton, yeah. Mm.
And some of the quotes of what people have said is most meth, most crime, most collective reckless disregard for self-preservation of any place I've ever been, one commuter wrote. Another one says doesn't seem to be a good reason to go back. Agreed, another person. Another one on the list, and you know what, girl? I've been to this place a few times. We've been together.
Mm.
And with what and the way one of the people describe it, I kind of see it. But you let me know if you agree. Dallas, Texas. They say that place felt like an eerie Walking Dead city without the apocalypse. Another says most soulless city I've ever been to. What's your thoughts? Because we've been there. I've had thoughts before. Go ahead.
Yeah. When we went to Dallas and we went down, like we were in the downtown area, there was like this park that had a lot of homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Not only were they homeless people that were obviously looking sketchy and obviously, less fortunate, but they stare you down as you're walking, which I found that to be like kind of scary, kind of weird. And
Mm-hmm.
how am I scared when I'm used to New York homeless people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did feel it. I don't know if it felt like soulless. It just didn't feel as lively as the Houston of it all, or the Atlanta,
Well,
or no,
oh,
sorry,
no.
Austin or San Antonio.
I heard Houston is as bad with the homeless. I know
Yeah.
someone that I work with that recently was in Houston, like literally weekends ago, and she was looking forward to it. But she came back and told me she was like, ugh, like, and she said like the homelessness, and I'm like, but the thing is, I've been to Salt Lake City, so when people talk to me about homelessness, one, like you said, we live in New York City, but I will never forget the image I seen, and there's no exaggeration of when I first went to Salt Lake City of homelessness and the way they're lined up as the car drove for what felt like miles and going, and you just see homeless lined up like in that to me was never seen
Yeah.
something like that. So
I also I like another place that has like a lot of homeless people, but this was 8 or 9 years ago when I would frequent this city, Baltimore, Maryland, and like the DC downtown area. Mm.
not as bad again, not as bad as like a Salt Lake, but I agree with that like Walking Dead feeling in Dallas. But moving on to the next on the list, Miami. I'm excited to never go back to Miami, said one commuter. Someone said I actively hated every second I was in Miami and tried to cut my trip short but couldn't. I love palm trees, beaches, and golden girls, but it was the meanest and fakest place I've ever been. I agree, the vibe was just awful, said another person. Next, um, Cairo, Cairo, Illinois. Any thoughts on that? Have you heard of that?
The only place I really care about is Chicago, and I don't even really care for Chicago like that. So no.
Yeah, they said there are some rough, smaller towns around Chicago, but nothing compares to Cairo, said one person.
Mm.
Uh, was not at all how Mark Twain described it at another fellow tourist. Next, Branson, Montana. Someone described it as the Myrtle Beach of the Midwest.
Mm.
Next, and I'm surprised because this is a place I've been wanting to go to for a while, and I'm still going to go because I like to experience things myself. Nashville, Tennessee. Every damn bar is
Not
near
surprised.
the same. The woo girls are obnoxious, and there's absolutely no personality outside of those two things.
Mm.
Everyone's like, "Oh, it's not what you think it is. There's something for everyone." Yeah, no, it's exactly what I thought it would be. Maybe even worse. I'm still want to experience it, and my goal is to experience it this summer. So I will let y'all know.
Honestly, that's how I feel about New Orleans. I like New Orleans, but like New Orleans could get tired real quick.
Jackson, Mississippi is next on the list, followed by Rock Springs, Wyoming,
Mm.
Sussex City, Iowa, and last on the list, and I'm surprised because I've been here, Phoenix, Arizona. I hated everything about it. I like Tuscan much better. Judging by the average, and someone else said, judging by the average temperature during the summer, which I did hear even from people that live there, it's crazy. Trying to desperately stay alive is what they're doing there. That's for Phoenix, Arizona. Listen, I like Phoenix. I've been to Phoenix. Wait, not Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, I've been to Phoenix, and I would definitely go again. The mountains. When I went, it was nice. I went like late November, I believe. I loved it. I love the scenery, mountains, and all the beautifulness of stuff. So I don't agree with that one. And what do you think about Miami, though?
So with Miami, I have conflicted feelings because like I can't. I'm impartial. The last time I went to Miami was when I lived there in 2009. I can't really say like, no, Miami's great because I hear from everybody. We were talking about that during dinner last night, how different Miami is from like childhood to now, and how it's becoming like a little mini LA with social content creators and such. So I need to go experience Miami myself in my adult life and see what the vibes are. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's super pretentious. Like that's what it gives off now. It actually used to be like that. And back in the day, I remember in early 2000s, it was like not who you know. No, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I'm not surprised. But as far as like a terrible city, I would whoever chose those, whoever were the ones like voting, they must be like British people. They must be because they always hate Miami. It's too Spanish for them, but they stay going to Ibiza in Spain. Um, I don't know because those places don't have any flavor. Sorry, like who's going to my Wyoming? Who's going to Montana?
Right? Oh, Sussex City,
Cairo, Michigan, Illinois. Like
Illinois. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, wait, what?
random.
So it was a random list, but surprisingly, New York wasn't there. Listen, I think New York is one of the people like other people that are not in this country, and even people that live in this country, like dream of coming to.
I
And
think with New York, you either love or hate New York. And I think there are more people that love New York than hate New York. It's so funny. I saw this like meme that no one hates New York more than a person that is from New York that moved out, because they try to justify themselves by constantly saying how much they hated it and all the bad things. But it's almost like you're just hating because you're not here. So yeah, it's bullshit. It's never gonna be, New York is never gonna be the most hated city.
yeah, well, it wasn't even on the list,
Yeah,
so
I mean, I'm not surprised.
it wasn't on the list. But moving on to the Gen Z of it all. Recently, we posted on our Inner Circle Instagram page a post about Gen Z wanting to get rid of the thumbs up emoji because they find it passive aggressive. I found that I found that interesting because I could see, and someone who feels, although like sometimes you can't really read into too much into text messages or tone and stuff because that's how a lot of troubles and things happen. It's not always the case, but sometimes, especially when you really in Twitter for the most part, you know when it could be passive aggressive. So when I see this, I'm like, I can see where they're coming from.
I
But to
don't have to be Gen Z to agree. I've been on this. I've been on a soapbox about this shit for many, many, many a time. I've constantly
but
told
it
you.
comes up,
I think that someone giving me a thumbs up when we're having a conversation, whether it's like not a bad one or a good one, but it can come off as condescending. I don't think that's a Gen Z thing. Because I'm not Gen Z. You know what? I'm a millennial, but I have Gen Z tendencies.
mm,
I gladly admit that. That's how I say so youthful. But I don't think I asked my millennial friend and they agreed too. They say that it's condescending. There are just some people who don't think too much into it, but like you can tell when something is kind of like uh a fu. That was like in an episode of Housewives of Salt Lake City where Lisa Barlow sent two thumbs up or something, or was it Heather Gay? Someone sent two thumbs up and they basically meant that that means fuck you.
well,
So
they want to stop using it as the thumbs up thing. We
I
took a
agree.
poll. We took a poll, and the poll uh was the choices were no stupid Gen Z, yes agree, and don't care. 72% said no stupid Gen Z. 9% said yes agree, and 18% said don't care.
I don't think it's Gen Z, but go off.
I don't, I don't care. For me, it's a don't care because I'm like I don't care because I know it's not a big deal. One, but I do agree that people do use it as a passive aggressive way. Like I've experienced it. I've seen it.
You do it yourself, that's why.
That I've done it.
Yeah.
Oh, we've all done it. You've done it.
I
Yes.
don't like using a thumbs up. There are times where I hit okay and automatically it switches to the thumbs up, and I'm like, fuck, do I take this? Do I unsend the message? Oh, whatever.
But
But
we've all done it. I know
yeah,
I've done it. We've all done it. So that's why to me it's like I agree. And that's why I even found the post interesting. I'm like, But I also don't care. It's not like, oh my God, get rid of it because it's passive aggressive. Because it depends on how you use it. Like it could be for me also, I could be on the run. And this is the expectations, and this is the way our world is.
it's harder to find the emoji.
Our world is progressing where now we have issues within how quick someone answers a text or what if they write back to something or if they just write something short or a one word thing or just an emoji. Sometimes you're on the run and maybe you don't have the mental bandwidth or you're doing other things where you may hit like a thumbs up or send a thumbs up. So that's
Yeah,
why I don't care, and it depends on the scenario, situation, and what's going on, what the conversation has to do with. Period. So
right.
found it
The only
interesting.
thing I don't care, I could like I don't mind using a thumbs up. I use that shit on Teams because when you're gonna hit me up on Microsoft Teams, and I don't care for it, I'm gonna send you the thumbs up.
No
But
Microsoft Teams. I use it at work in my group chats all the time.
yeah, uh, but one thing I don't, I this is for Apple. Apple, if you're listening, can we change the color of the fucking thumbs up? Like, I don't like that yellow hand. Like, my
You
skin
know,
is
you
not
can
yellow.
adjust your skin
You
tone.
can, yeah, but that's an extra step. Whereas in Teams, you can already have it pre like set for your appearance and your color. Me and my boss were working on it. She chose the a dark one, and I chose the tan one, and we were like sending each other messages to make sure it worked.
That's funny. All right,
Yeah,
well, who knew with that? But speaking of Gen Z, though, these are the same individuals that are getting fired left and right after they have been hired by firms and companies. And let me pull up the article exactly of um yes, companies are firing Gen Z graduates months after hiring them, citing unprofessional behaviors.
yeah,
So,
I believe it.
and listen, honey, I see it.
I see it
I,
sometimes too.
I work with some Gen Zers, and I see. I shall read. A survey by Intelligent.com revealed that 60% of employers have dismissed recent college graduates, with 75% expressing dissatisfaction with their performance. Common criticism include poor communication skills, unpreparedness for meetings, and a perceived lack. Some employers say the problem isn't just performance, it's mindset, and I see this firsthand. Complaints include Gen Z employees refusing to do certain tasks they see as beneath them, showing up late without notice, or prioritizing personal time over deadlines. And that right there, I experienced it in my workplace, and I definitely see it. And if anyone's watching the podcast, I gotta know. But
I got coworkers watching, but they're not Gen Z. I've heard of some Gen Zs doing some shit like that, and it's like that's not a good look. And it's, you know what really like is fucked up in this whole situation.
generation is different.
This generation is different, but like somehow, some way, millennials get involved and trickled into that situation because we seem like the bad ones. Because if the millennials are the bosses of a Gen Z, oh, it's a fucking wrap. We're hateful and because they have the youth and all this shit. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm glad I don't really work with a lot of Gen
If
Z.
you're
But
working on the same kind of level as a Gen Zer,
what I've noticed working in hospitality, Gen Zs, and this just goes for hospitality as a whole, but I know I mostly noticed it in the younger generation. They jump from job to job. They will be somewhere for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and then jump to another place. And it's like that is not stable. And like me personally, if I work somewhere for 6 months, I'm not putting that shit on my resume. That doesn't even leave a dent. That's not even experience.
yeah, same. Same, absolutely same. But yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that because again, I've seen it. I've seen it. I see it. I see it. I live it.
Yeah.
So, but we were talking right before the show about, and we brought it up last week, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Finally, the episode aired with Kenya, which we reported about this months ago about her suspension or pause on the show because of these images that she showed.
Revenge porn.
Yeah, and that's the touchy that's been the debate and the word since the episodes aired amongst the fandom. She basically showed images of fellow castmate Britt Ely. She was giving some head. She was giving some head in the images. With that being
Allegedly. Allegedly.
said, let's throw the word allegedly. Bravo chose not to show the images for their reasonings, etc., for the political, reasons. All right. I know you wasn't able to finish it.
I saw the clip on TikTok a couple times. I didn't watch. I'm literally at the episode where they're like showing everything up to the point where Brittany Edie gives the flowers
Oh,
to
okay, good. So you see
Kenya.
that they attempted to do that.
Yeah, Kenya
Kenya
was
is
very standoffish and dismissive. You know, I
yeah,
feel
no
like
courage, honey. Do you know what I noticed? One thing that I noticed, and it's funny because the cameras were basically for them to edit it like that and show that she was taking her shots. You seen her doing her patrol shots, and even when she gave her speech,
Kenya.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could see it in her eyes that she was inebriated.
Oh wow.
You didn't see that part, like you didn't see
I didn't
like
get to that part yet. I'm at the part where she's talking to Lawrence, the hairdresser.
yeah. I mean, listen, coming into it, I still stand behind Kenya. I feel like why suspend her and not the other one? But with that being said, if you wanted tapes, I think it's season, and I meant to look it up and have the episode and the season exactly. That's poor journalistic point on my
How
end.
dare you?
But there's a season where Kenya with Miss Lawrence, funny enough, is joking. No, not with Miss Lawrence, with the one that got beat up by Apollo. If you know, you know.
Oh, oh my God. I know who you're talking about.
If you know, you know. But
Brand. It started with a B. His name or
Brandon, Brandon,
Brandon.
yeah, Brandon. So, and she's joking about because obviously she had beef in there when she initially started in her earlier season with Phaedra, and she was joking, and she even brought it out because she was in her closet. She even brought out the gun and joked about a gun, blah blah blah. That she have to think. So I think it's, and I'm surprised that it's not catching more traction on TikTok. Well, I'm not on TikTok like that, but the TikToks and the Instagrams and the Reels, although some people have pointed it out, but I'm surprised it's not running rampant more because, no pun intended, more. But you did that a few things ago. So to cite that you were so nervous about Britt Ely saying, similar something, it was right there when she said it, but saying something similar that you joked around with Brandon. Yeah, it was in your closet. You didn't say it to Phaedra yourself in person, but you said it and it was aired. What's the difference?
Mm.
And not only that, but then to go back to the images she showed and what got her suspended to begin with. Listen, I don't know. I don't know. Like, do
According to her, she's still on the payroll. She's still getting checks. According to her, she was never vocally told that she was fired. They just told her that they were going to cease all production with her, and that they never told her that the reason that they were going to stop was because of the revenge porn. I don't know. I personally feel that what Brittany Edie said about, like, oh, I got a whip and I got my pistol.
not the whip though. What
Yeah,
type of
she,
whip? Like, slave
she,
whip,
yeah, I think that that's like, bitch, read the room. Why would you say that? That's
right?
like you're regressing yourself by saying shit like that.
Pistols maybe, but whips.
Um, I don't know. I felt that was whoa. That's she should have gotten a talking to, and they should have been like, yo, you can't do shit like that or say things like that. However, when everyone gets together and they check her and they tell her like what you said was wrong, and Kenya Moore feels some type of way about this, her reaction towards it, I felt seemed genuine and was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want her to feel like that. Or maybe she did it because she wants to like still be a housewife,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But in that sense, she kind of showed that she was willing to like make amends and apologize for it. Whereas Kenya didn't even give her the time of day to like listen to her. The problem with Kenya is that, and this is what I notice about a lot of Aquarians, I can't really relate because I notice it. I want to say that I've been working on myself and I'm healed because I notice that Aquarians, when they make their mind up and they're so fucking passive aggressive, because I know someone just like this, and you know this person too. When they are so passive aggressive and like already in their mind, they have this like narrative and this whole like thing that they're gonna say, this dramatic sequence of events that they're gonna portray and make in their head. No one's gonna stop them, even if you apologize, fucking bow down, kiss their feet. No, they're going to do what they have already planted on doing. So Kenya, the minute that Brittany came up to her, that's when she was like ready, set, lights, camera, action. And she started acting and like gathering everyone together to like
Yeah.
be the audience of that. I found that shit to be like very poor taste. Listen, if you want to Snapchat someone your hoo ha, you want to, do extracurricular activities, facial regalia, whatever the fuck you want to do it by all means. If you're gonna put that shit online, just know, well, not online. If you're gonna like
If
record it,
listen, if it's porn or any type of thing you've done and you've put it online, whether it's escorting,
if you shared it, not online, because some people don't do things like that intentionally for it to be online. But somehow, some way, if you share it with someone, expect that shit to be shown multiple times or to other people that you don't want access to. So I feel bad for her because no one deserves that shit. And whatever you want to do in the privacy on your own chambers, you can. But Kenya, you got a lot of fucking time in your hands. You got a whole ass daughter.
well, I think she hired. I'm sure she hit someone up.
You know what I was thinking when I was watching the episode?
But I have a
One,
little more to say because you'll be
I feel like it
surprised.
was
I'm
Lord,
different.
what the hell?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I feel like it was like, I hate to say this because I don't want to get in trouble, but like somebody from the party was probably the person that did the investigation and sent Kenya the information.
Someone for what part? What
From
party?
someone that was present in the party. I think it was one of the people that she had like
Oh, attending the opening of the salon,
yeah.
but not the
I have
members, not the not.
No, I wasn't a cast member. It was someone that has been in the show before that popped up out of nowhere, I feel.
And then she also recently just made a statement too, basically defending Kenya. Like, well, if someone pushed you that far, um, allegedly, but it rhymes with Akeelia, something like that.
Who?
I'll send you the. I'll try to look for the meme of it, and you're gonna think. But I feel now that you say that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's that girl. She was in the past, last season too, like as a little, Kenya's friend.
Mm,
You know who I'm talking about. I'll
yeah.
send you the image because there's some memes. There was a statement that she wrote. But going back to the Edie and Kenya thing. With that being said, with everything that transpired, I have to say, Brit was looking for a moment.
She
Brit was
was.
looking for a moment from the get, like the whole. I get it. There's preconceived notions of how Kenya could come off because, the shadiness and tones and stuff. And I get how that whole ring thing is this your first ring or second ring,
Yeah,
but
that was stupid.
continue with like the whole, oh, you only tapped me and blah blah blah. And real quick, from the get, isn't this girl Brit giving you Nicki Minaj? She looks like Nicki Minaj, talks like Nicki Minaj, like
Yeah.
she's very
Her
reminiscent.
facial, like the facial structure, the mouth structure is giving Nicki Minaj. But I thought the whole ring conversation is rich coming from Kenya. Kenya, you shouldn't be talking about people in their marriages. Like,
But do you think she was being shady?
I think she was being shady. I think she had a preconceived notion about Brit Edie or whatever because I don't know. I feel like somehow, some way, they all know each other in a sense or have heard of each other. Kenya was a video vixen, apparent quote
She
unquote.
said she was a high paid video bitch.
Yeah, she was the main vixen or whatever. But like, in that industry of like uncut videos and like the rappers having like the girl on the in the videos and stuff, there was a lot of competition. I'm sure Melissa Ford has said it. Gloria Velez has said it. Like, I don't know. Kenya, she came at Britney with the ring thing very like it was very random. Like, why if you see someone wearing a wedding ring, why is it your business to ask them if it's the first one, if it's the anniversary one? Like, who cares?
That's true.
That
That's true.
was too much.
But I still feel it is funny because I would have never thought there would be a conversation between you and I where I'm actually defending Kenya. Brit was looking for a moment. Brit was looking for a moment and she kept pushing it with Kenya. Because yes, that first episode with the ring thing, I even was like, Now, is this bitch being shady? I had to question myself.
I feel like something was edited out and something must have happened before the ring question because
But that I just feel Brit was a fan of the show because let's be real, a lot of these women are watch these shows, and this is how they come out nowadays. These Real Housewives have been going for years at this point. Where if you come on and say you never seen the show, maybe there's a small percentage of a chance. Yes, that could be believable with some new housewives, but for the most part, most of these new chicks have seen the show, so they're coming on as either fans or people who have watched the show. And I think Brit did, and she wanted a moment. She wanted a moment. She
I
wanted a
didn't
moment.
watch the show, but I'm pretty sure you have heard of the Housewives.
Yeah,
You
and she
can't tell me you live in Atlanta and not know who Kenya Moore is or Portia Williams.
exactly. She got her moment, and I mean, like they said, like Portia said, Brit went lower, Kenya went lower. But listen, I get it, Kenya,
Wow.
because so as of these last few weeks, what's going on in the universe, sometimes I have felt like going lower as well. Although I pray to the good Lord to just keep me above it all.
Listen, I don't entertain the bullshit. I disengage.
Yeah,
New
come
year,
on,
new me.
Meredith. Speaking of Meredith, did you see before we go? Did you see the trailer for the new show coming out in
Next gen.
June, Next Gen? Which it was originally the original title was Made in Manhattan, but they must have changed it Next Gen, and I can see it. I can see it's called Next Gen Manhattan, so I can see what Bravo's doing there with like a future possible spinoff of other cities, Next Gen LA, etc. But what did you think of the trailer? We have Gia Giudice, offspring of Teresa Giudice. We have Riley, offspring of
Boris.
Candy Burris, which listen, what Candy's been, what she's done in her group and what she's continued doing it, icon. At this point, I'm gonna call Candy an icon because she will be an
Worldwide.
worldwide, honey. Then we have Miss Disengage herself, Meredith Mark's son, Brooks Marks, which we met at BravoCon a few years ago. And then we have Ariana, who is Kim Zolciak's daughter. So what did you think of? Oh, and Damon Dash's daughter is in there too.
Ava Dasha.
What did you think of? Apparently, of a snowman lover. But if you seen
Yeah.
if the trailer and caught that, you caught it. What did you think of the trailer? Are you gonna be watching? Do you think it's gonna be successful? What are your thoughts?
I'll watch it, but it reminds me of like a bootleg version of NYC Prep, and I used to love that show. I was reading the comments, girl. A lot of people were roasting it and saying like, "Why we don't want her? We don't want Gia. Gia lives in New Jersey. Why the hell do they have Gia when she lives?" I see that she gets. I don't know. I hope it's not Riley Burris that she gets into some like scuffle with,
No,
or not a scuffle,
no,
but she gets into an argument or something with someone.
she does. I heard about this.
Um, I'll watch because there is an influencer that I like that I've like followed on TikTok, Amira Spain. She's I don't know if you why
Oh, you're following these young Gen Zs. No wonder you have some Gen Z in you.
I like Amira Spain because she's first of all, she's the first trans model for Victoria's Secret. She's a doll.
I never heard of her.
She's like 23, 24, I think. She is very popular on TikTok. She does the like get ready with me's and lives and shit. But it's gonna be cute to see her because she actually lives in New York. Who else? There's two other people, like a girl and like a boy that I see them arguing, and it's like, who are these people? The extra oohs and ahs. But I'm excited to see everyone, I guess. But I don't want to say excited. I take that shit back. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I'm not like, oh my god. Now the
Wait,
show I do want to watch is Survival of the Thickest.
oh, you watch that on Netflix?
I watched the first season. I want to watch the newer season. I heard Kylie Minogue is on the first. Wait, no, that's The Residence. Never mind.
I love Michelle Bartolo because obviously
Buteau.
Borto, sorry.
Buteau.
Buteau. Michelle Buteau because she is the voice. And even though
In
she's
the
the
circle.
narrator and the voice, she makes me laugh. And for someone that is special to be a narrator and
Mm,
just a voice and not even in the episode, just narrating a show and
yeah,
make people laugh, that's a special skill. And she
yeah.
makes me laugh on The Circle. That's one of my new favorite shows, reality TV shows on Netflix, which I will be on if they continue having the circles, like the challenge 41. If they continue having the circles, I will be on the circle one
Wait,
day.
I have a question. Did you ever watch an episode, a season of The Circle with this like Italian guy that won?
Which I'd watch all the seasons of the
I don't
US.
know his name. I met him in Yankee Stadium.
For real, is it wait, oh, the twins.
Yeah,
Valley
he's a,
twins?
I heard he's a twin.
Yeah, yeah, they won last season. I wasn't rooting for them. They got far. They got lucky. I feel production, and this is why they call it sometimes like the challenge. They call them the challenge gods,
Mm,
aka production, because production, if they really like you and they want you to get at least somewhat far, production has a hand with these game shows of being able to like kind of carry you. You
mm.
still have to do footwork yourself. I've heard a lot of things in behind the scenes. And this is why when I go on, I got a window with my charm when I audition. But they have a way to carry you if they really like you personally. Again, you got to
Mm.
do some footwork, and they did that. If you watch the last season, girl, you will know exactly what I'm talking
The
about.
only season that I watched and the only couple of episodes I watched were with the Spice Girls. But like this, I like talked to him briefly, but
But
I
yeah,
was,
it's the latest season, last season. You will know exactly what I'm talking about if you just watch the first episode. Production saved their asses, and they won. They got through. I was rooting for other people because I found them obnoxious. Like the twins, they were obnoxious.
their
That's
accent
an
is so
island.
funny.
That's not an island accent. And
They're from Staten Island.
yeah, I lived in Staten Island, but it's just like I found them obnoxious. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
And they did some content with Danielle Cabral recently too that she uploaded, making fun of Jennifer Aiden. They were like behind the
Mhm.
bar, like the subway, like the workers, and
Yeah,
she was like ordering. Yeah, yeah.
that's
That's
hilarious.
funny. You met one of them. That's so funny.
Yeah, he was outside Yankee Stadium when I went to the Yankee game, but I was like, you look.
Before we go, how did that meeting come about? Do tell.
Can we talk about it offline? No, well, when I went to the Yankee game, like what last week,
Uh,
they were doing. Well, he was doing like content outside, and they
oh,
like to shoot videos and
right.
stuff. And I remember like I wasn't standing that far, and I was just like, "You look familiar. I seen you on TikTok." And then he started laughing. He was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Where? How'd you get famous? Like, where do I know you from?" And he was like, "You watched The Circle," and I was like, "No," but I recognized his voice, and I was like, "Oh, my best friend watches The Circle. I'll ask him." He was like, "Yeah, he's gonna know,"
I know.
but I don't remember his name.
Listen, he could have been a guest on the show, but we'll work on that.
We'll
But you
see.
don't even know which twin. We'll find out. With that being said, thank you guys so much. Next week, should we tell them or should we figure it out? Should we tell them this special episode we are cooking up?
Sure.
Something
I
different.
like transparency. What can I say?
Next week we have a special. It's gonna be a little different from our usual shows. It's called the Best Friend Edition episode, where yes, we're gonna still be talking about music and pop culture and all that good stuff, but it's gonna be in reference into like us talking about
We're
best
celebrating our friendship, and we're gonna get to you guys are gonna get to know us on a deeper level.
deeper level, and also us getting to know each other on a deeper level. We're asking like questions that sometimes to me, I'm a very thoughtful. My mind's always thinking, and sometimes I have random questions like, what was Melanie's favorite candy growing up? Or what was she scared about as a kid? Or,
Mm.
what was her like her first crush? Things like that. So we are having our best friend, and I'm surprised we haven't had this episode in many years we've been doing this. Our best friend episode edition before we go on our little Sex in the City
Getaway.
girls trip.
Let's go, girls. I think why we haven't had an episode like that because I feel like we need a moderator.
A moderator, yeah.
Moderator. We need a moderator who's gonna ask the question and be like, Melanie, What do you think is Charlie's favorite? Blah blah blah. It seems better when someone else asks.
But it should be a moderator that knows us too. Maybe we'll cook something
I have
up.
someone that wants to do it, but I don't think you're gonna be like hard no. We'll see.
We'll talk about it. But that being said, follow, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up. It's all free. We appreciate you guys. We will see you next week with our best friend episode, and we'll let you know how we're getting our Real Housewives of New York slash Sex in the City. No,
Yeah.
Sex in the City on with our next duo trip. All that and more next week. Tune in.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, everything the Inner Circle podcast, and catch us every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook.